Ian, what number mystery is this for you? Do you remember?
Yes. So Carnival makes Puzzle Mystery Quilt number 9, and then Tree of Life is number 10.
Woohoo! Lucky big numbers. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so you've been doing this a long time. And so would you mind showing us the amazing quilt that you've created this time around?
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, I always add my own borders. So that's why I like to do the reveal a little bit, because I add those borders onto it to make it a little bit different than what is comes in the package. I did get the border package, but I actually got it after the quilt was finished. So I'm going to use that fabric somewhere else. But I went in and took elements from the quilt. I liked these diamonds and figured they'd make great keystones. So I added those onto the corners of my quilts. I've been doing a lot of keystones except for Village Green. But yeah, there we go.
I mentioned early on that a lot of times we get asked the difference between the small and the large. And so we are very fortunate that Beth completed her small. And so we get to see the two side by side, guys. Same exact colorway, same exact swatch card. One's a small and one's a large. And so you can kind of see the difference between the two. Some people might think one is just an exploded version of another. Like instead of a 2-inch square, it's a 3-inch square. That's not the case at all. It's the same core design elements, and then it is repeated. You can see in Ian's, he's got a couple more on the left and right, and a little bit more on the top and the bottom to make it just a little bigger.
Part of the great thing about Conquest that's been mentioned today is your pressing instructions. So as a long armor, when I got his quilt, everything was like flat as can be because he did a wonderful job nesting all of his seams. And it's just a great quilt. You did a good one, Ian.
Yes.
Good job.
So Ian sent it to Beth. So she's had the opportunity to see both ahead of time. And Beth, I know you did a fantastic job quilting it. It looks absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much.
I love the quilting that she did on it.
Yeah.
This right here is my favorite thing ever. In the history of forever. I think about this every day. I think about this all night long. I stay awake, not sleeping, because I'm thinking about this. This right here is my favorite thing.
All right. Give us 1 second, guys. We have to get on Instagram. That was like a super, cut and we go. All right. Good morning, everybody on Instagram. Good morning, everybody on Facebook. Good morning, everybody on YouTube. It is 9:30 Cotton Cuts time on Thursday, which means it's time for us to have another one of our live shows. As the video, the last video was, yes, we are living, eating, breathing our favorite thing, puzzle mystery quilts, which is exactly what we are going to be talking about today. And then we get to take a break and do some other things. So we are going to start today's live as we do every week with questions that have been submitted by you guys. So simply head to cottoncuts.com/live to submit your question. These are handed to me as I sit down. I am always surprised. And, here we go. So our first question that we've received is from Susan Bushy from Jacksonville, Florida. How hard is it to design your own quilt pattern? What are some things to consider when doing it? All right, Susan, this is a fantastic question. So I think that, it depends on some interpretations of this question. So what does it mean to design your own quilt pattern? Good morning, So Terry. Good morning, everyone that's checking in on the socials. So I think it depends on what it means when you say design your own quilt pattern. If you're going into a quilt shop and you see a pattern that you like and you don't want to buy the pattern, you want to make it yourself, I think that's a different level. You're kind of reverse engineering. You're not coming up with your own quilt pattern. And I think that depending on your skill level and your comfort and your tolerance for mistakes, I feel like if you're going to reverse engineer, guys, your tolerance for mistakes has to be pretty darn high because you're going to make some mistakes. You're going to miscalculate. You're not going to know necessarily all the inside baseball. Now, if you have divine inspiration and you wake up at 2 a.m. and you're like, this is a new quilt. I've never seen this before. I want to design it. I think it comes down to kind of the phases. So there is first the design phase. How do you extract that from your brain and put it into a format that everyone can see and enjoy it? And so there are a ton of different design softwares that you can use. We've been known to use Canva in a pinch. Canva is a free, click and drag graphic design software where you can put shapes together and kind of see how it's all going to lay out. All the way up to, super advanced designers use Illustrator, and then there's EQ8. Super expensive packages. There's training that has to go into it. If you're you've got this design kicking around There's free software packages you can use like Canva that'll help get you there. Because the first thing you want to do is get it down on paper, and you want to make sure that everything fits together and all the dimensions work out the way you want it to be. I think in that phase, hello, Marcy Diver, good morning to you. In that phase when you're designing color choices, I think a lot of folks can get stuck in when they're designing it, getting the colors perfect, and they're constantly churning and going back and forth on fabric and placement and color choice, which is really a lot of the magic and a pattern design. But you want to make sure that you get it done, right? And so I think that it's a matter of wanting to enjoy and make sure that it's great, but also knowing when you're done tinkering. And some of us, depending on our personality, can sit and play with pretty fabric all day long. And if you enjoy that and that is your favorite part to designing a quilt, then definitely live in that moment and enjoy it. If you're like me, man, I want to get it done, I want to get it designed, and I want to get it out the door, knowing when to say when. Also, like with every creative process, sometimes you can get design block, like writer's block, where you need to stop, put it aside, sleep on it, and come back to it next day. That is a perfectly acceptable part of the design process as well, to make sure that it gets the vision that you're looking for. I'll get stuck sometimes where I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over again. It's not singing to me. I set it, and then when I come back to it, that mental break I give myself actually makes a better product than if I sat there, forced it, and inflicted a self-imposed deadline. So then you've got this quilt and you love it and the layout is great and you think people are going to like flock to it. You have to make sure it's actually makeable. And so this is one of these things that this is actually more of a science than an art. I think when we talk about engineering, I think this is really where the engineering comes into play, is you have to be able to make a pattern that people can actually sew. And so, there's always those, does it have Y seams? Of course you can sew a Y seam. You can teach someone how to sew a Y seam. But is that the easiest and best way to put it together? And then when you're starting to translate the piecing instructions with the cutting instructions, you have to consider bias edges and making sure you don't create a design where all those seams are going to stretch on the bias and it's going to end up, and it's not super square, it's actually probably more trapezoidal. You definitely don't want one of those quilts. So I feel like, you have this design idea in the middle of the night. If you want to make it to mass produce it, you're going to go through this whole converting it to an electronic format. Then you're going to go through a whole, how do you sew it together? How do you cut it? And then you're like, okay, I want other people to be able to do this. There's a whole testing process. And so testing can be like calling up a friend and being like, hey, can you sew this pattern together and see if it makes sense? Because that second set of eyes might see something that you're too close to and you can't actually see it. Pattern testing is huge. Pattern testing is, if you want to commercially be able to sell this great idea you have to pattern test. You have to get someone outside of you looking at it, because you can look at this pattern and live, eat, and breathe it, and miss that it says, 6 6/8 instead of 6 3/4. And you need that second set of eyes. And there's different types of skills that can be utilized. So there's definitely a proofing skill set. So if you've got that friend that is that English major and loves to edit things, that's a person to put through your pattern. They might not necessarily make it, but they're going to catch the fact that, you misspelled the word sew. You used S-O and S-E-W, right? They're going to catch that stuff. And then there's the actual quilter that is going to go through the construction steps and find that, this piece is supposed to be 12 inches and it's actually only 10, and you probably need to re-engineer some of your pieces together. All right. So Susan, I feel like, and then by the time you get to the end, okay, you've got this pattern, it's been tested, it's beautiful, it's designed, and then you want to make sure that you want to put it someplace where you can sell it. And so that's as simple as having a website and getting people to come to your website and buy it. There's partnering with the distributor to try and get it into quilt shops. And there's partnering with fabric designers to have them use their fabrics in your pattern design. That's a fantastic way to get a pattern out to a lot of people as well. All of those steps, like I feel like any of those steps is like an 8-hour class that can be taught. That's kind of the high level. You have an idea, you need to design it, you need to be able to make it, you need to be able to cut it, you have to test it, and then you have to commercialize it. I feel like that's kind of the highest level description of what it's taking to design your own quilt pattern. Now that's if you want to make it and sell it. If you just want to design it and make it yourself, you can skip all that stuff. You can just go to like grabbing fabric off your shelf and piecing it together, and away you go. Susan, thank you so much for the question. Fantastic question. I hope that helped, and I hope that gave you enough information to be dangerous. All right, our next question comes to us from Josie Feldhaus from Wichita, Kansas. Hello, Josie. Thank you so much for your question. I was just gifted an antique quilt that has been passed down for 2 generations. Okay, I was wondering how I could restore it and make small repairs. Okay, so Josie, this is a little outside of my wheelhouse. I definitely have antique quilts in my house that are from my grandmother and my great grandmother, and we have them, and they're threadbare because they're super well loved. But I think when it comes to how to restore it and make small repairs, it's one of these things that it really comes down to what is your intended use of this quilt? Are you intending to restore it for it to be, put in a museum? Or do you want to just restore it so it can extend life and continue to be passed down from generations to generation? There are quilt historians and quilt restorers out there that will help you through this process. Our guild has people that are quilt historians and quilt restoration experts come in all the time and tell us how to handle these heirlooms. It's truly an heirloom. Once it's been passed down for multiple generations, it can definitely be getting an expert there, because some of those fabrics, they have different thread counts, they have different dyes, they need to be washed differently. I know they now make special quilt washes for antique quilts that are older than 50, 60 years. Let's see here. So Josie, this is a fantastic answer we're getting from Julie Geyer, who says, take it to the International Quilt Museum in Lincoln, Nebraska for a restoration. I feel also if, oh yeah, because you're in Wichita, Kansas. So Lincoln, Nebraska might not be too far from you. I would also recommend calling them and seeing what they would suggest. I would be hard pressed to mail a quilt that has this much sentimental value to you. I think that's a recipe for getting stuck and lost. But I think there's definitely expert resources out there that specialize in quilt restoration, that specialize in quilt dating. If this is something that you would want to just hand stitch and make small repairs on your own, say a dog tooth a corner of the binding, it's really a matter of how important is it to you that the fabric matches. There's people out there that can, find that fabric for you so it's continuous, or perhaps you just add an element to it that's your own and you add your own generational stamp on this quilt. All right. If anyone has any other suggestions on this one, like I know enough to know enough, but not a lot. So if you have suggestions for Josie on what she can do with this antique quilt, I think just post them in the comments, and Josie, check out what everyone has to say to you. All right, that's it. Those are the 2 opening questions. Thank you guys so much for submitting questions. If you have one for our next show, simply go to cottoncuts.com/live. Submit your question. These are handed to me as I sit down. Obviously, on this restoration one, I did not have a lot of time to do some background on it, but I trust that our audience has people that can help Josie with it. All right. Don't forget, if you're watching us on StreamYard, on Facebook, or on YouTube, to give permission so we can see your name. I see everyone saying hello and good morning off in the comments. So thank you guys so much for doing that. And don't forget to stay to the end. As always, we're going to be giving away a $25 gift card to our shop. All you have to do is answer a question. We will post that at the end. Find the video, put the comment in, and be entered to win. All right, so what's happening in the shop this week? So what is happening in the shop behind the camera right now is a whole bunch of Wild West. Kidding. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is a marathon. This has been 2 months of just die cutting. And I think they have die cut probably over, I would say, 250, 300,000 parts and pieces. It has been a ridiculous amount of strips and triangles and squares. And we are in the finish line here, people. We are going to get Clue 1 out tomorrow on time for everyone that has sewn, that everyone that has ordered their Wild West month to month. Our prepaids, we have about 40% of them that have shipped. The rest will ship early next week. We are working double time. Our team is getting to the end. It has been a slog, but we put so much joy into it. And like that video said at the beginning, this is so much fun for us to do. And it is so much fun for us to give them to you and then see your joy and reaction when you receive them. So that is definitely ongoing. Earlier this week, of course, because we do way more than Puzzle Mystery Quilt, we spent a lot of time talking about that, but we do way more. Our classic boxes shipped earlier this week, which had some lovely Figo fabrics in them, as well as some pretty batiks and some super fun Halloween fabrics. I love our classic boxes. It is a good sampler of a lot of different collections that are just a surprise each month. It's interesting because there's no way that you would be able to go to one quilt shop and get all the fabrics that we put in our classic boxes at one time. You'd have to go to 6 or 7 different shops to do it. And so I love that Classic brings those all together and sends those out to all of our members. I see a question from Judy Hebert who's asking, when does the first clue drop? Anyone know? So it's 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And so it is Friday, 9 o'clock. That's when the clue is going to be posted to our new CCPD evidence locker. All right, so this is something that's one of the new things we're doing for Wild West. We actually have a web portal where we're going to put all the clues. And so at 9 o'clock on the day that the clue drops, you're going to log in and the clue is going to be hanging out there for you to download, as well as all of its previous pieces of evidence. So no more looking for your email, no more looking for where you downloaded it, no more deleting and it getting lost. You are going to have access to all of those clues for the entire duration of the mystery and for a long time thereafter. So it'll be 9 o'clock tomorrow. Our virtual assistant has it on her calendar. It'll be up there at 9 o'clock and you'll have access to it. All right. I'm seeing a comment about a Facebook page for antique quilts. The people are quite knowledgeable. Yes, the people that know antique quilts know antique quilts. And so those are the people, Josie, you need to go find. Okay, so what else is going on? We are moving. Okay, so we've been talking about this for months. So our move date is August 19th as of now. We'll see what happens. But we are, of course, going to be doing another kind of promotion thing in the shop. So we have for this week, for the next week, week and a half, all of our puzzle mystery quilt bolt ends are going to be buy one, get one. So when you go to cottoncuts.com and you type the word bolt ends into the search bar, what you are going to find is what we will call antique or legacy puzzle mystery quilts that we've done in the past. And what we do is at the end of the mystery, we always have leftover parts and pieces, right? We'll get 48 pieces off the die cutter, but like very seldom does a mystery actually end where we use every single triangle and every single color. So we have these parts and we keep them in our own evidence locker. So that way, when you email in and you're saying, hey, I'm missing a triangle from 2 years ago, we can send it to you. But there comes a point in time where we package these up into bags that are about a pound and we put them on our website. And these are a great way to get triangles and strips and bolt ends. And you guys get to pick which colorway you want us to send you. We have a ton of these bags from Piazza, from Are You Game, from Village Green. We go back kind of a distance on some of these. And so if you, oh, So Sweet, there is a So Sweet. So if you like those donut colorways, we have bags in the shop. They're buy one, get one for the next week. We have a ton. I don't want to move them. I would love if you guys took them. And when people receive these bags, they get to make some accent pieces to their puzzle mystery quilts. Or perhaps there was a colorway they really liked and they didn't order it and they wish they did. This is a great way to get an infusion of those fabrics to you. So definitely go take a look at that. We'll put another social post up to remind you guys later today. And I'm also letting everyone know that for the next 2 weeks, I am going to be on vacation. My family is going to Europe for the next 2 weeks. And so the next 2 weeks, our show is not going to be live. I'm sorry. I'm not going to try and navigate all of the technology with this from Europe. But what we're going to do is we're going to rebroadcast 2 of our favorite hit shows. So these are going to be shows that we've already broadcast and have good, valuable content. We'll drop them at the same day and the same time. And we'll probably figure out how to do a giveaway. I don't know. I'll get Polly to try and figure that out in the next 24 hours. But we're going to be gone for the next 2 weeks. And then when I come back, we're going to be moving. So it's going to be awesome and fun. So when you see this show the next 2 weeks and it's pre-recorded, please don't be surprised. We're going to take a little summer vacation. All right. So to our main topic for today. So Paula wanted me to unbox one of the fresh, hot off the press, Wild West puzzle mystery quilts and show you guys all the things that are inside of it. So what I'm going to do is I have 2 different colorways here. I'm going to let you guys choose which colorway I show you. We're going to take a tally, an informal tally of all the comments, and that's the box that I'm actually going to unbox. I'm going to describe some of the inclusions that come with it to give you time to vote, and then I'll actually show you the beautiful fabrics from inside. So your choices are Calamity, which is Moda Grunge. It's very like pastel, bright colors, or Josie, which is our Lori Holt vintage collection. So wherever you're watching this video, do you want me to unbox the Calamity fabrics and show you those clues, or do you want me to unbox the Josie fabrics and show you those clues? Okay, so what you're going to get in your prepaid quilts, if you've ordered it and if you've added on to it. So here is an oops kit. So we talked about this a couple of times. So an oops kit is a fat 8 of each of the main fabric in your colorway. And so you get to use these to, in case there's an oops, right? So say you accidentally, your seam ripper gets a hold of a piece and tears a hole in it, or your dog gets a piece, or your grandchild or your son makes off with some triangles, or and it's happened before, so I'm going to say this and know that it's definitely happened before. You accidentally sit on it and think you lost it and it's gone. These are made for like the quick fixes. Like you want to keep sewing, so we give you just enough fabric to be able to cut a triangle, a square, a strip, so you can keep sewing. Of course, you can always reach out to us. We will replace those parts to you. That is never a problem at all. But the Oops kit, and so it's going to be in your colorway, can be in your kit if you've added it. Our prepaids for this time, we also changed our thread kits a little bit. And so what we're doing is we gave you a choice. I think it was white, black, or gray, depending on the colorway. And so you could get a spool of 50 weight Aurifil thread. The idea is that this thread could just live in your prepaid box. And when you come to sew it, it's right there. It's right there with your bottom. It's right there with your bobbin, excuse me. Like, this is what happens when Paula is writing me notes. I'm thinking about those pieces that are stuck on your bottom when you're sewing and they get lost. Okay. So it's a piece, it's a spool of Aurifil thread, so that way you can keep it in your box. That way you can take your box with you wherever you're sewing this puzzle mystery quilt, and everything is all together. Yes, Sylvia, ha ha ha. I am ready for vacation. Like, it is time for us to go. Let's see here. Deborah, that is a fantastic suggestion. She likes making the Oops kit for pillowcases after all said and done. Yeah, because in theory, right, you shouldn't need this. And so these will be fantastic fabrics. I know based upon Ian's video, he would have made this into a border for the border for his project, for his quilt kit. All right. For those of you that were referred to us or referred someone to us, you're going to get a referral gift. And so this is something we put in there and just saying, like, thank you so much. Perhaps it's your first time, perhaps you were brought by a friend, perhaps that friend has told 15 people, right? And so what we have is it's kind of shiny. We should probably take it out of here. Hold on, I'm going to unwrap it. I feel like I'm unwrapping potato chips when I do this. But the gifts that we have for everyone for this mystery is a little Cotton Cuts pad of Post-its. And on the inside of it, there's little Post-its for you to use. And we've done this before. These are super fun and handy because you can tuck these inside a quilt bag. So Dominic, the boy who sews, is currently doing a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. And so he's been using these little flag notes to post pages in the book so he can keep track of everything that's going on during that adventure. Are we going to be looking at quilts in Europe or for fabrics? So I don't think we're going to have time for much quilt shopping or fabric shopping. We'll try to squeeze it in. So we're actually going to Paris for the Olympics. And so we will be there with 15 million of our closest friends. And so I don't know what's going to be open. I don't know what's going to be closed. We are preparing to be unprepared. It's pretty much the extent of this vacation. And so we're going to live vicariously. So I feel like if we opportunistically walk by a textile shop that is open, then we will definitely pop in. I see we've been joined by Ian, and Ian, I definitely did say your name for your inspirational borders on your puzzle mystery quilt. Okay. What else comes in these boxes with the prepaid? So we've done 2 new things for our prepaid quilts this time. And so these color challenge cards that everyone loves so much, that we've kind of tried to we had to figure out a better way to be able to get color challenge cards to our prepaid detectives. And so what we've done this time is you guys are going to get all 10 months up at once. So there's going to be a package inside if you've chosen to keep them of all 10 months. So the first one is July 2024. The last one, I'm not going to show it to you guys, it's April 2025. So we have all 10 of the next month's color challenge cards are going to be coming in your box if you've chosen to receive them. So that's going to be fun. So it's not going to be, you're going to get it at the end and have to play catch up. You're going to get them and you'll actually be able to draw one of these cards out each month and be able to play along with everyone else that's getting them each month. This is one you guys have been asking for many, many, many mysteries, is to get a contents list of what comes in your prepaid quilt. And so I am excited. The team actually made it happen this time. And so in your prepaid quilts, you guys are going to get an actual grid of what comes in month 1, month 2, month 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that way you guys can check to see in advance if you've got everything you need. And then that way we can get you what you need. We've been asked this a lot. Like I said a couple shows ago when someone was asking about this, we wanted to make sure it was deliberate and intentional and done well. And I am proud of what the team put together. And so everyone will get an inventory of what should be inside their box. All right. Let me see here. I feel like that's all the inclusions. I saw a lot more Josie votes than I did Calamity votes. Totally okay. Josie's fun. Calamity's fun too. So what I am going to do is I am actually going to unbox the Josie prepaid quilt. And so it comes in our lovely light blue box. Woohoo, this is what you're going to receive. It's got some fun witty sayings on it. I'm not going to ruin it for you guys that have never gotten it before. But when you open it up, you're gonna have some of the things we just covered. There'll be a nice little welcome letter that'll tell you how to contact us. And on the card, it says to reach out to PMQ support if you have any help. That's always the best way to get a hold of us for anything puzzle mystery quilts, is to go to cottoncuts.com/PMQ support. And it goes right to the team, and they handle all those every day to get you back to sewing as quickly as possible. All right, so here's the Josie gang. Boop, boop, boop. So Josie is Lori Holt. And so we have been asked for many mysteries to do Lori Holt. And she is one of those ones that it's hard to get one of her new releases into a mystery quilt because they're always a little off cycle. So like this one, right, we're shipping a mystery now. She just released a collection this month, right? There's no way we could get those fabrics in, get them cut, and get them out to you to start a mystery right now. So we went a little differently. We went back to some of the Lori Holt V basic, and we put together a cute little collection that is here. And so everyone that does a prepaid, everyone does month to month, get this little booklet too. And so here are all the colors, the main colors in your colorway. As we talked about originally, I saw Terry had a question asking which was the main fabrics. And I believe we said that they were, I think it was the D and the E are the two main fabrics. We will confirm that and get someone to put that in the comments, Terry, for you later. But the way that kind of an insider tip and trick and how to read this swatch booklet. Oh, okay. I don't need to put a comment. I was actually just handed it. And so the main colors are going to be your D, so Josie, this white, and then F, the scissors. So D and F are the two main fabrics in all the colorways. So yes, I have my little Josie cheat sheet. See, this is why we keep Paula around, because she keeps all this stuff, so we can actually see it at a moment's notice. And so insider tip, if you ever get stuck and you can't remember which is fabric A and B and C and D, then what you can do is it starts clockwise. And so the 6 o'clock in the bottom is always, always, always your binding fabric. And then it goes A, B, C, D, E, and F. So if you find the color wheel online, if you take a picture of this and this is all you have and you can't remember which fabric is which, it's always, 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 since the beginning of time, been binding at 6 o'clock, A, B, C, D, E, and F. And so the reason why the 6 o'clock fabric is sometimes repeated on the inside means that your binding fabric uses one of the main fabrics in the quilt. Easy enough. On the inside, I would bet maybe only 10% of the people actually open it up and read this inside. There's so much information in here, guys. Oh my gosh, there's like tips and tricks, like things if you've never done a PMQ with us before, this is where you want to read, like highlight it, make marks and notes. All of the ship schedule is right here, and it tells you exactly when everything is going to be coming to you, when it's going to renew. It tells you how to get help. It tells you how to join our Cotton Cuts fabric group. It tells us, it even tells you when the next mystery sign up is going to be, so you can put it on your calendar now so you don't miss it. And then on the back, this is the piece that, like, once you get it, you want to take a photo of it, you want to download and keep this electronically. This is the exact what I told you on the front: A, B, C, D, E, F, and binding. You're going to need this to sew your clue. And so I have a sample clue here in front of me. And let me see if I can show you something. Oh, that's not proprietary. So we print all of our clues black and white. And the way that we always print the clues is we put the letter of the fabric on the inside. So A, B, 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 C, C, C. And it's always a gradient. A is always going to be white and F is always going to be black. And then it'll be a gray gradient getting darker between the two. One of the biggest questions we get from new quilters is, the A here is white, but my A fabric is black. Say they're sewing Ghost Town, right? And the A fabric in that quilt happens to be black. Why is it this way? And it's because we want one instructions for every colorway. And so this white A fabric is probably not going to be a white fabric in your print. In fact, if we take a look at Josie, A fabric is actually blue. The white fabric is D, right? And so we want to keep it as cost effective as we possibly can for everybody. If we made these color or colorway specific, oh my gosh, we'd have to raise the price so much, guys, because we'd have to print single instructions for single colorways. and it would be very challenging. So we try to simplify it as much as possible. So just recognize that when you see an A triangle and it is white, it does not mean your white fabric. And so I know a lot of people get those alphabetties and they put them on there to keep track of what's A, B, and C. That work I've done in a pinch Post-its. Hey, we're giving you Post-its. Hey, look at that. That's funny how that works out, right? You know, I wouldn't put the sticky on the fabric, but that is a good way to kind of keep track of what's A, B, C, D, E, and F. All right, where was I? Okay, so yes, so every prepaid and month to month is going to get one of these booklets. This is golden. This was also attached to your order when you placed your order, and it's also in the new evidence locker as well. So when you get access to the evidence locker, guys, you're going to want to get your swatch booklet out of there as well and put it where you can best find it later. All right, our favorite. So we're doing Flat Nancy again. She got a facelift. This is so much fun. We've had discussion in the shop about what I saw someone describe as a patchwork horse. Sometimes people call it a cow. It's actually a horse, people. But we love this new Flat Nancy Wild West. And so the way this works is when you sew that month's clue, you take a picture of the clue with the Flat Nancy card in it, so we know that this is with it. You upload it on a website, and we give away 10 $25 gift cards every month. If you get it in by the deadline, which is the next clue dropping, you will be entered to win one of 10 $25 gift cards. And if you do all 10 months, which I think for the carnival, I think we had like 27 people did all 10 months of Flat Nancy posting, even their finished quilt. Then you get a free mystery for your next one. It was a lot of fun to give that away. And to me, the people who stay on it all 10 months and then finish it, you all deserve a free quilt, but that's not for me to decide. But we will pick someone who gets their next mystery free. So it definitely does make sense to kind of stay on top of it and keep it going. Thank you so much, Vicki, for the new Nancy. Yeah, this one, and it's a pretty color. I know with the cameras, it's kind of hard to see the real color, but it is a very, very pretty color. That turned out really awesome. All right, as we open up, Josie. Okay, so I like Legos. I use Legos a lot as a description for things because I have two boys. I can't even tell you the number of Legos I've stepped on and, put in boxes and put in tubs and put in totes. But so these are packaged like Legos, and that it tells you which clue it's matching to on it. So it says clue 1, boop. And so when clue 1 is emailed to you, you just go in your box, your handy dandy little box, keep everything together, and you're going to grab your clue 1. Let's see, I want to see that middle quilt. Oh, here, I can pop out of the way. So that's our logo, Zara. That's the logo that we have in applique. It's a pattern on the website, actually. We've made it into a pattern a couple years ago. If you search for Rosa logo pattern, it'll tell you how to make that center quilt behind me. Okay, so it's made like Legos. If you notice, clue 1 has a gift in it. Woohoo! So we always, always, always include a little something fun in clue 1, 5, and 10. So clue 1, because you're excited. I'm excited. This is the first time I'm opening this package. I want to be inspired and excited. So clue 1 has a gift. Clue 5 has a gift. It has these little things that adorn the back of all of our cars. They're little magnets. And then clue 10, of course, has a gift. And for all the prepaid detectives, your clue 10 gift is going to be a whole bunch of quilt labels that have Wild West on them. All right, so we always give a gift at 1, 5, and 10. You've started, you're midway, and you're done. It's kind of fun. We just like to, keep you sewing, keep you motivated, keep you opening the packages. And so inside each one, it's all the pieces that you need to actually sew that month's clue. And then the next month comes along, here's clue 2. The next month comes along, here's clue 3. The beauty of this is if you keep this bag, once you sew it together, pop it right back in, use the logo sticker, close it up, keep it in the box. And then that way, when you go to sew together your clue 10 at the end, everything is in here, everything is labeled, it's all in the same box, and you can keep sewing. Clue 10, some people might not know, clue 10 has your finishing strips, it has your binding in it for the end of your quilt, and sometimes we put some special parts and pieces in there that you need to finish the quilt, so that way you actually have to open this package up to get to it to be able to finish your quilt. I can tell you this looks to be a small, I'm guessing. I'm pretty sure it's a small. Yes, Paul is telling me, yes, it's a small. And so there's some little triangles you're going to need to be able to finish the quilt in your clue 10. So yeah, so here's pretty much like the whole package. This is 10 months to make a beautiful small 48 by 60 quilt. All right, Let's see, do you guys have any questions as I've been going through this? I know there's like a ton. I always, these unboxings, we always go down different rabbit holes. Before you know it, I'm going to be talking about, sewing triangles to your tush. I'm getting Post-its from the producers, reiterate what's new. Okay, so the locker. Okay, I need to reiterate what's new. Okay, so what's new this time? So we have the content sheet, which I know you guys love. As soon as I showed that, there was a lot of positive vibes. So that way you can actually see what comes in your box. We're giving you the color challenge cards, all 10 at one time. So you're not missing out on being able to participate in that. We are doing, instead of a monthly email that comes to you that's going to get lost and misfiled and a download you're never going to be able to get again, and then you have to reach out to us, we've created the new CCPD Evidence Locker, which is someplace you can go to get all your digital downloads, all your clues all in one place. Your swatch booklet is also stored there. You can access it, download what you need, and make sure that you keep sewing so you don't have to reach out to us and wait for us. Let's see here. Julie Geyers, she's wishing she's done prepaid instead of monthly. So you definitely get the monthly surprises if you do month to month. We can switch you to prepay if you would like. That is never a problem at all. Simply reach out to our customer service and Carrie and Joanna will help you. You missed the beginning, so the monthlies, yes. So everyone gets a gift at 1, 5, and 10. So it might not be the same. What I showed you is what the prepaids are going to get in 5 months, and in 10 months, it might be different. But everyone gets a little little bonus. Sometimes it's, a little sweet thing. Sometimes it's, a seam ripper. We put lots of different things in there, but everyone gets a beginning, a midway, and an end, just to kind of be like, you've started, you're halfway there, and you're done. We like those little surprises, those little bonuses. All right. Let's see what else is new. So the thread is new, the referral gift. Yeah, I feel like, Paula, I've covered all of it. Okay, let me take a look at my list again. She is giving me more Post-its, people. Evidently, I've missed some of the stuff. No. Okay, we're not going to do that. I am saying no, Paula. Okay, all right. So that's it. So that's the prepaid. To recap, I'm not going to be here the next 2 weeks because I'm going to be off on a European vacation. But we're going to show some of our best hits. So they're going to go back and find some videos where we talk about awesome things that are going to be helpful and motivating and inspiring. And then when I am back right afterwards, we're going to be talking about some of our charitable things that we're doing here at Cotton Cuts and a lot of the give backs and a lot of just the crazy things we continue to throw on our plate because we always like to do fun things and keep growing. So thank you for making it to the end of the video today. As always, we're going to give away a $25 gift certificate to the shop, which you are definitely more than welcome to go get one of those buy one, get one Puzzle Mystery Quilt bolt-in bags. So the question that Paula would like for me to ask you is, how many Puzzle Mystery Quilts have you participated in? Find this video, if it's on Instagram, if it's on YouTube, if it's on Facebook, and comment how many you've participated in. If it's 0, go ahead and put that. We'll still give you a $25 gift card. You'll be entered to win that. That is never a problem at all. Just tell us if it's your first. Star Novak is saying it is her first. Thank you so much. That is awesome. I am excited that you're on this ride with us. All right, so our closing reminders. Don't forget to sign up for Wild West. We have an epic giveaway. The more that, we're going to give, like everyone who signs up for Wild West is going to be entered to win like 3 tiers of epic giveaways. I see a lot of third timers. Woo-hoo. Fantastic. Let's see here. Snippets are still buy one, get one. We have a whole bunch of stuff going on, guys. You've been keeping us busy with our moving sale, and I appreciate your guys' support. We are working through those orders, and we're trying to get them out the door to you guys. We are working as hard as we can. We appreciate your patience with us. We should be all caught up before I leave on vacation. So with that, everyone, happy sewing. I will see you guys in 3 weeks from today. Everyone have a great weekend, and we will talk soon. Bye now. And cut. Thank you so much for watching our video. We have so much fun making these, and we hope that you were both delighted and inspired by what you just watched. This video was sponsored by Cotton Cuts. Cotton Cuts is your one-stop for all the best fabric and thread memberships. Love fabric? We've got you covered. Love thread? We've got you covered. We get that no 2 quilters are cut from the same cloth, which is why our memberships are as unique as you. We also have the largest block of the month in the world. Over 4,000 detectives solve our puzzle mystery quilts every year, and you can join them. Simply go to cottoncuts.com to learn more about all the awesome and fun things that we're doing. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe to make sure you get all of our new fresh content every time it comes out. Thank you so much. Happy sewing enthusiasts, and we will see you soon. Bye now.